Hey guys, Cognitive Shanky here. Welcome back to another video. So this video is the last part of the string literals. In this I'll talk about the string formatting. So let's get started. So the first thing which I would like to share with you is the how we can check a string is present inside the another string. So for that earlier we had already used the index method. So the index method basically returns the index of the first occurrence of that element which we passed as a parameter, but here we will be checking whether it is present or not in the sense of boolean variable. So let's say if I have a variable temp and this carries hi, how are you. Now if I want to check that whether how is present in this or not, and if it is present, then I want to execute some of the statements. So it will be the case of if and else. So for that, if let's say I want to check how, and I want to check that whether how is present in temp. So this now to check whether how is present in temp or not, we use the membership operators, that is in or not in or not in. These two are the membership operators, in or not in. So basically they are used to check whether an element is present in the object or not. So in our case we'll be checking whether a substring is present in the string or not. So for that, let's say if I use how in temp, then it will return a boolean variable. Let's just check it. So as you can see that how is present in temp, but if I will be checking that what in temp, then it will return false as what is not present in the temp. Similarly, if we check for the not in, so not in will automatically work as the vice versa of the operator in. So in the case of how, it will return false, and in case of what, it will return true. So these operators, as they return the boolean variable true or false, so we can use them to check in our conditional operations. Let's say if I want to check if how in temp, and then I want to execute, let's say print yes present, and if it is not present, then I want to execute else print no, not present. Now let's just check it. So as you can see that how is present in temp, so once this condition is true, it will automatically execute the statements following the true statements, and else will be ignored. Now if I want to just check with another operation, let's just change the condition with what. Now as you can see that what is not present in temp, so basically it will return the false. So if the condition is false, it will automatically execute the statements present in the else condition. So this will be executed. Now coming to the point of concatenation, so basically concatenation is adding up of a string at the end of the another string. So let's say if I have a string str which is what is your name, and I have another variable y which stores my name is Cognitive Shanky. Now if I want to add y at the end of the str, so I have to use the plus operator. In the string, plus operator is used to perform the concatenation, but we can only merge two strings with one another. We cannot merge an string with the integral variable. As I had already informed you in my earlier videos that if we want to perform concatenation with any of the numerical variables or numerical values, then we have to firstly convert them by the typecasting. So let's just try to perform concatenation. If I want to do str plus, and then I want to add a space between the str and y, then I have to give the space, and then I want to give the y. Now both of these strings will be concatenated or merged with each other. But if you will see and try to print str, then you will see that there's no change. So if we want to alter str after the concatenation, then we have to assign the value to it only. So str is equal to str plus and y. Now again, if we will try to print str, then you will see that now the str will be updated. So in this case we can perform the concatenation as well. Now coming to the point of string formatting, we have already seen that if you want to print the variable along with a certain message which is a string, then we have to either concatenate or pass them as a second parameter to the print method. Now string formatting is used to print the string or alter the string while printing or modifying them. So the first method to use is C style string formatting. So Python basically use this C style string formatting only. So that is, for the string it will use modulo s, for integral values it will use modulo d, for float variables it will use modulo f, and if you want to restrict that after the decimal places certain number of digits will only be printed, so for that we will have to do modulo dot nf. So this n in this is the integral value, that is we can pass, if we want to have the 3-digit number after the decimal, so we have to pass 3f in this manner. While using the C type string formatting, we can perform the string formatting in Python as well. So let's just try it. Let's say I have a name variable and I have stored cognitive Shanky in it. Now if I want to print this name along with a message, so let's say my message is my name is, and after that I want to print cognitive Shanky. So as it is of the string type, so for that I have to use modulo s, and then I have to again use a modulo and pass the name as a variable to the print method. So in this way you can see that the name value, that is the cognitive Shanky, will replace the modulo s in my message, and it will be printed as a complete string afterwards. Now let's say if I have a multiple variables and I want to use multiple variables along with a message. So let's say again I have a variable temp and it stores an integral value, let's say 21. Now again I have a floating variable, let's say float temp, and it stores 59.26. Now if I want to print all these three, name, temp as well as float temp variable along with a message, so let's say my message is print my name is, and then I have to print my name, and my age is, and then I have to print temp. So let's say modulo and temp, as it is the integral value, so I have to use modulo d over here, and then I would say I have, let's say this much money I have, so I have modulo f amount of money. And after that, so as these three variables I have to print, so we cannot pass the three different alternative variables. So if we have the multiple variables and we will like to use the C type string formatting, so we have to pass the values as a tuple to it. So let's say this name comma temp comma float temp. So tuple basically is a list which is ordered and unchangeable. So I'll be talking about the tuple in my upcoming videos, but for now let's say if we want to create a tuple, then it must be enclosed inside the small brackets and elements will be separated with the comma in it. Now all these variables sequential order should be in the order in which we want to print them in our message. So let's just try it. So as you can see that the first variable name will replace the modulo s. So my name is Cognitive Shanky and my age is, then modulo d, so temp is of the integral format only, so 21 will be printed. And then as we hadn't specified that how many decimal places will have to be printed, so by default it prints the 6, that is after the 26 4 zeros will be printed. Now let's say if we want to restrict it to the 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places only, so let's again just try it. Then I have to just replace it with point, and then let's say I have to pass 2 to it. And now let's just try it. So now you can see that yeah, by using the 2 decimal places only, it restricts the value to the 59.26 only. Now another interesting thing is that modulo s can be used for any of the type of the objects. So if we want to print modulo d, that is the integral value, or in the place of modulo d and modulo f, we can also use the modulo s. So basically what it does is it converts the whatever the data type of the variable is into the string format and print them as a string to it. So let's just try it with this also one time. So let's say this will be replaced with modulo s and again modulo s. So let's just try it. So as you can see that yeah, modulo s can be used for any of the data types as well. Now second type is the using the format method. For the format method, what we have to do is, let's say my message is this one only. And instead of modulo s or modulo d something, we have to use the curly braces over here wherever we want to place our variable's value. This manner. I want to use the format method with this message, and then we have to pass the that many number of variables as we have the curly braces in our message. So I have the 3, so let's say I have name variable, then I have temp variable, then I have float temp variable. So each of the curly braces will be sequentially replaced by the variable's value which we pass as a parameter to the format method. So let's just try it. So as you can see, yes, this can be done. Now if we want to change the order of them, let's say if name is present at the second place and still I want to print it first, so we have to use the index of the values. So let's say I have a message, and as we all know that the index starts from the 0 only. So if I want to print the second value over here, then the in this way. So this will be the third value, this will be the first value, and this will be the second value. So now if we have the message.format temp comma float temp comma name, now as you can see that with the index as well we can print it. So curly braces 2 will be replaced with the second index parameter, so that is the temp is at the 0, float temp is at the 1, and then name is at the 2. So in this manner we can use the non-sequential order as well. Now the last thing is sometimes we need to use the special symbols in our message as well. So let's say if I have a message, he says, and then again I have a quote, and in this quote I want to write something. So let's say his name is. Now as you can see that if I use the quote over here, then the interpreter will automatically end the string over here, and I will be prompted with an error for the his name is and the another quotes this message. Now to avoid this problem, we will be using the escape characters. So slash is the escape character which will, once been identified by the interpreter, it will automatically ignores the next occurrence of the whatever the character we have, and it will print them as it is. So let's say if I have message, so the slash will be ignored automatically and the message will be printed as it is. So this is all about the string literals, guys. I hope you like the video. Do share it and provide any feedback in the comment section or the topics which I need to cover. Thank you.